Hello, you see my face again. Good evening. Happy new year, y'all. I hope that you had good holidays. I spent my holidays on a cruise. Just a little story. Why is my camera so far up? Anyway, just a little story. I live in Ohio, as you all know, but our flight we had a big snowstorm. I think it was like the 23rd or I don't know. Yeah, 23rd. So we were supposed to leave 26th. Yeah, I think the snowstorm was like the 23rd-ish, somewhere in there. And in the midst of the snowstorm, a bunch of flights got canceled from here to Timbuktu. Like, it was a lot of flights. So comes December 26th, Monday. Christmas was, I think, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, Saturday, I don't know. Anyway, our ship was scheduled to leave the 27th. So we had already had intentions on going up the day early, spending the night in Miami so we could just board the ship. We get to the airport the morning of the 26th. You know, we're supposed to fly out, blah, blah, blah. We were supposed to fly out about 9:03. About 9 o'clock, we get a notification. Well, first of all, they come like 8:45. You know, it's supposed to start boarding like after 8. So I'm like, we get there, you know, we got there kind of late, but I was like, yeah, whatever, it's cool. So we get there, we're waiting around, people are standing, like, we literally get there right before boarding time. So, you know, it wasn't bad to not have a lot of time in between because we just left late. I don't know what I was doing, who knows. Anyway, so about 8:20, I think it was supposed to start boarding, 8:12 or something like that. I can't remember. But nobody's boarding. And I'm like, don't like that sign. Mind you, I have been stalking over the night before because y'all know I'm OCD. So I have been stalking the flights. And not one flight left out of Cleveland Airport. Not one. I flew Spirit. Say what y'all want about Spirit. But, you know, it gets you there sometimes. You might die a couple times, but it gets you there. So anyway, yeah. So I was like getting nervous. A couple of airlines left, but not one Spirit flight. So next to us, I think that one was going to like Vegas or something. They're getting ready to board. They were already delayed, but they're getting ready to board. So a lady comes about 8:45. Not even over the loudspeaker. This is how ghetto it is. Not even over the loudspeaker. She just says it. Now, mind you, it's probably about 150 people trying to hear what she's saying verbally, not over a loudspeaker. Attention, we are trying to find a second pilot or a second captain or something, she said, for this flight. And, you know, I'm listening to people around me and I'm like, what the hell is that? And somebody said, basically, it's a second pilot. And I was like, okay. All right. Now, mind you, I had already made my mind up before I got to that airport. I was not missing this ship because I needed this vacation. Y'all know I needed this vacation. I was not missing this ship. Honey, I was not missing it. So I wait around, you know, I just sit there and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I just need to say screw this and go downstairs and get my money back and go on and get me a rental car. But I'm like, no, I'm just in denial still. So everybody's phone, all I hear, ding, 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 ding. I'm like, now I'm nosy. So about 10 minutes before that, I look over to the flight attendants that were supposed to be on this flight with us. And they go over and show like the front desk lady their phone. They don't say anything. They just show the front desk lady their phone. And then she don't look happy when she shows her phone. She just went like, you know, one of those looks. You know, a woman knows another woman's look. And I'm like, nah, something ain't right. So, you know, I starts to get on my phone. I'm like, F it, I'm driving. So, you know, here comes the dinging of everybody's phone. So I go look. They was like, Spirit says there has been a change, blah, blah, blah. Everybody else's phone, they looked in a different spot. I looked in my email, but they looked in a different spot, and they said it was delayed. I looked in my email, said it was canceled. 5 minutes later, same said lady came and said, your flight is canceled. All right, cool. By now, it's like 9:10. Okay, all right, let's go. So I gather the kids. I gather Harry. We takes the shuttle to the rental car. On my way to the rental car, I should have did this, but I didn't. But next time I will. On my way to the rental car, you know, we get on the shuttle, go to the rental car. We go to the front desk, get a rental car. We had to end up paying like a pretty penny for the rental car since we kind of walked up and did it. So we had to end up paying a pretty penny for it, but it's okay. It was a little red thing. Most of the roads, like in Cleveland, there was one road that was really, really bad that like was, I think it was like not Snow Road from Cleveland Airport, but that back road. And it was really bad. And I was in this little red car and I was like, oh God, I don't want to spin out. But it wasn't snowing or anything. We got on the road. Basically, it was perfect. You know, we drove. We didn't end up leaving because it was some problem with the rental car. We had to wait in line because everybody else was like, hell, we're not missing our ship either. We're driving. So, we didn't end up getting on the road until like 10:30. So 10:30 comes. I get in this little red car. I put my GPS on and I'm like, okay. On my way, I'm like contemplating. I'm like, how long do I got? I can't drive through the night. I can't drive 19 hours. It's just impossible, you know. Harry helped a little, but he's like a little anxious when it's like highway driving. So I do most of the highway driving. Imagine that. And I hate driving. But anyway, we get in this little car. And I said, I made up my mind. And like, I even gave the people in the shuttle around me, like they were all going on cruises too. I was like, I'm stopping in Jacksonville, get a couple hours of sleep. Boom, boom, boom. So we drive from about 10:30 a.m. We get to the hotel, I think like 1:30. It was late. So from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. You do the math on them hours. I mean, of course, we had to stop. I pretty much stopped in every state. It actually wasn't a terrible drive. The kids they didn't bother me too much. Harry drove for a little bit. He just drove through like Virginia, West Virginia. I mean, we drove through Ohio. Then we went to West Virginia. Then we went to Virginia. Then we went North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. 7 states in one day. How do you? Anyway, so I get like literally, it was hard for me to settle down because I was so tired and I was like anxious. So it was hard for me to settle down. So I finally get settled and I get like probably an hour and a half of sleep. We get up at 4:30 to be on the road by 5 o'clock to continue the rest of our drive because the car, mind you, we got it at about 10:30, had to be back at Miami Airport by 10:30. So I got up, went from Jacksonville to Miami in like the 5.5 hours, whatever. Harry drove a good amount, a big chunk of that one. You know, he tried to drive a little bit more, but he was tired. But you know, we women, we just pull out some strength and we just do it. But anyway, needless to say, we made it on the ship and made it home. It was a fiasco at Miami Airport when we got off the ship, but that's a story for another day because we're not here to talk about my trip. We're here to talk about our budget for the year. So, why do we need to budget for the year? This is a very beginner-friendly video. If you know how to budget and all of that, this is not the video for you. If you just want to sit here and listen to me, of course you do. Go ahead and stay. But anyway, this video is about annual budgeting. And we're going to talk about some things prior to us writing out our budget. So it's going to be kind of lengthy. I'll try to keep it under 30 minutes. Just, you know. Anyway, let's get into it. So, annual budgeting. This is the first part of a 4-part series. We're going to do this every Friday in January. Why we are not starting our budgeting and cash stuffing, if you want to cash stuff, but why we're not starting it in January, because y'all ain't going to stick to it. I'm still continuing what I did from last year because I started it last year, but y'all ain't going to stick to it. Just like everybody crowding out the gym right now, come February, y'all ain't going back to no gym. If you do, great, more power to you. If you want to start now, great, great. I'm not discouraging you from that, but I figure that gives you the month to go over, what we talk about, watch my videos and everything. So why is it important to budget? Well, honey, it's your money. You went to work for this, whether it's a business, whatever, here, there. You went to work for this money. So you need to take control of this money. It's your money. Take control. Get out of that store. Swipe, swipe, swipe. I did it too. I did it. I was guilty of it. I even lose my way sometimes and I'm swiping and I'm like, oh no, honey, I got to stop this. But I have spent a astronomical amount of money in 6 months, and that's what made me stop. I just I can't do it. Why am I? It'll come. Thursdays, my daughter practices in Hermitage. So sometimes me and my husband like to go and have dinner and, something like that. Or just go out and I'm like, Thursdays before payday, Friday. And I'm sitting here I only got a couple dollars. Or only got a few dollars before my payday tomorrow. And I'm like, and I'm not rich. I don't make a bankroll, but I'm like, why do I only have a couple dollars? This don't seem right. Why? What? Because come Friday morning, guess what I'm doing? After I get my kids up at 6 o'clock, Amazon.com, swipe, swipe, boop, 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 boop. Here by tomorrow, here by today, whatever. So I was spending all this money, and I just spent a whole bunch of money. So I was like, I'm tired of spending money. So yeah. Do I claim to be a financial expert? Hell no. No. But what I won't discredit is my education. I did graduate with a bachelor's in nursing home administration and a master's in health and human services. Both of those degrees require extensive accounting classes. I used to be a tax preparer. I used to be a business office manager. So millions of dollars have gone through these fingers. So I know a couple of things about money. Okay, but I don't claim to be a financial expert, but like I said, I don't discredit my education because I spent a lot of money on it. I'm still paying for it. I spent a lot of money on my education, so I don't discredit what I have earned. So it's important for you to take care. Yeah, take care, but take control of your finances because this is your money. You need to have control over this money. You have to get control over your money. And some people call it the Dave Ramsey method, whatever. I'm not a fan. He's all right. I don't have a problem with him, but I don't want to be yelled at for spending $5 on McDonald's. If I want to spend $5 on McDonald's, it's my problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to work that into my income to make it work, okay? I don't want to be yelled at for that. And I feel like he does a lot of yelling, but a lot of this is based on his practices and everything, and he's a great rich man, but I ain't rich. So, how often should you work on your budget? As much as you want to. As much as you feel like it, as much as you want to. I suggest this annual budget that you work on it quarterly. You don't want to do it annual too much, okay? This is annual, so I suggest you work on it quarterly. Like, for example, a gas bill is going to be higher January, February, in Ohio. Now, not in Florida, but in Ohio, a gas bill is going to be a little higher in January-ish, February-ish, March. Okay, so come March, you might want to reevaluate what your gas bill. That's if you want to. You don't have to. You can take your most expensive gas bill. Once we do our example, you can take your most expensive gas bill and multiply that by 12. That'll be your best bet if you don't want to review this quarterly. You know, I won't review mine quarterly. I'll just do mine annually, and then that's it. And honestly, I can't even do my annual budget because I haven't been at work. And I won't be back at work. I don't know. I don't know when I'll be back at work, but right now I haven't been at work. I've been on leave. So since I'm on leave, I kind of am out of practice. I've been on leave since November, so I'm kind of out of practice of my annual income. And then sometimes raises come, so I don't know what I'll make. So I can't even do my annual income until I return to work. So, but of course I could do everybody else's because I could do this stuff in my sleep. So now you might ask, how can I get extra income? Side hustle, honey. Side hustle. And you gotta humble yourself, okay? You better not be above. Now, I just told you, I got a bachelor's and a master's degree. I'm a manager. I am not above going to a restaurant and passing out menus and taking people to their seats. It gives me a couple extra dollars in my pocket. That's for sure. So I'm not above that. So some of y'all need to stop being above going to flip a burger. Stop being above going to pour. Now, I'm telling you, I ain't cleaning no toilets. I'm not doing that now. But I'm not above going to work in retail, folding some t-shirts. I'm not above going to a pharmacy, going to scan some inventory. I'm not above any of that. If it gives me a couple extra dollars in my pocket, I'm going to do it. If you don't feel that you want to do any of that because you're too high sedity for that, well, invest. Start your own business. Start your own thing. You know, I started my own business. I do headbands. Of course, I don't have one on today. I should have one on today because, honey, these edges. But I started a headband and shirt business. I do that. You know, I go to different shows and everything. And I bring my headbands. I bring my t-shirts or bring my sweatshirts. I do it online. I'll be doing more online. So watch out for your Valentine's Day headbands and sweatshirts coming soon. But do whatever. If you want to sell notebooks, sell notebooks. If you want to go online and make t-shirts, make t-shirts. Do whatever you want to do. If you're above going to a restaurant and doing stuff, or going to bartend, or going to work in retail, do what you do. That's it. One day you might see me scanning some stuff at Dollar General or Dollar Tree as an extra job. Girl, I stay getting me some money, okay? That's just me. I just always have extra stream of income. So you say, y'all, my budget, I looked at my budget and I added up my income. I added up all my bills, and my expenses turn out to be more than my income. It's okay. Don't panic. We'll figure this out. We'll work together. We're going to have to make some cuts, or we're going to have to get us another job, sis. That's what we're going to have to do. Or both. So you really have to if that is your situation, and I hope and pray it's not, but if that is your situation, we really need to reevaluate some things, and you really need to contact me so we can figure this out together. Okay? So what you have to think about, what's unnecessary. You have to think about, this is only if your income is more. I mean, if your expenses are more, we might have to make some cuts. Do you have cable? You don't need cable. Do you have internet? You don't need internet. Like, use your hotspot on your cell phone. Like, you might have to think about those things. Like, you might have to let something go. Are you buying cigarettes? You might have to stop smoking. Are you buying lottery tickets? You might have to calm that down, sis. Like, it's just a lot of things that you have to think about. Okay? Now, if you came down to it, you got your job going, boom, 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 I'm making money, and then I went and picked up me a side hustle. Should you include that in your annual income? Absolutely not. Personally, so I have 3 side hustles outside of my main job. I work my main job, I work at a restaurant, and I work at an arena, along with my headband business. So, I haven't done anything with headbands since like December. So, January, I'll make 0. February, I might make something. And then my other jobs, I haven't done anything there either. So, like, basically I was 0. You know what I mean? So, but come like June, I'll have all 4 streams of income. Do you see what I'm saying? So, I don't include it in my annual income. I just include that in my weekly and in my monthly. But it only is included after it comes. Only when it comes. So, I think I got like $77 or something like that one time. And I never know what I'm getting paid for those jobs. I just know when they come, that's the only time I include it. Like the restaurant, I get a tip share. And I don't know what the tip share ever is going to be. So like I only count that income like when I get paid or something like that and I add it in. That's the only time I add that. Like I never, like I've been at the restaurant since October. And I think October. And I'm a slacker. I just now withdrew all the tips that I've made since I've been there. I just now did it because, I don't know, it's on a card and it's hassle. You have to go to But anyway, so next, we're going to talk about the 2 kinds of budgets, okay? I'm covering 2 kinds of budgets. There's all kinds of budgets. Ain't nobody got time to be sitting there covering all those budgets. I'm only covering 2. And I'm naming it, 1, a straightforward budget. It's probably a name for it, but I'm just naming it a straightforward budget. This is just, I'm taking whatever I make, and I'm taking whatever expenses that I have. I'm adding, subtracting, and doing all my math, whatever. That's what we straightforward. We ain't doing that percentage, blah, 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 blah. That's the straightforward. I'm just looking at what I got, and I'm looking at what I got left after I pay my bills. Boom. That's what we're doing. And then we're also going to look at today the 50, 20, 30. That's called the percentage budget. This is going to take a little more math and it takes a little more thinking. This is where my accounting classes come in. This is where I am no expert, but this is where my degrees come in. So I'm going to help you with that method. And I can provide you with more extensive help if you need it. So we're going to do straightforward budget first, and then we're going to go over the more difficult in-depth budget, and that's the 50, 20, 30. I don't do the 50, 20, 30 because who got time? I just do, this is what I'm bringing home, and this is what I got left after my bills. That's what I do. Okay, now we're going to talk about 2 kind of expenses. Very important that you know this prior to making your budget. It's fixed and variable. What is a fixed expense? A fixed expense is something that doesn't change. A mortgage, rent, car payment, yada, yada, yada. That's property taxes. That doesn't change. Variable expenses are expenses that change based on needs, based on wants, blah, 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 blah. Gas. You don't plan to drive 19 hours to Florida. So gas is going to be more for me that week. This week, I barely drove, so gas is going to be a lot less for me. Or, like, if I'm having lunch, if I count in lunch at work, I haven't been at work. So, of course, that variable expense changed. But when I go back to work, it's going to change again. Do you see what I'm saying? Entertainment. This week, like, a lot of times over break, we go bowling, we do, movies, blah, 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 blah. You do that. It's going to be more. But if you don't have time to do those things, it's going to be less. Clothing. Come wintertime, I ain't got nothing to wear. It's going to change. But I just bought summer clothes last year, so I don't need summer clothes. You see what I'm saying? So it's an expense, but it just changes all the time. Okay? And just like going out to eat, something like that. That all changes all the time. So now, based on everything that I said, we are going to go over our budgets. So remember, first we're going to do the straightforward budget. That's what I'm bringing home, what my bills cost, and what I got left. And then we're going to do our 50, 20, 30 budget, which is like a little bit more math and figuring and everything, okay? So, sorry you have to say goodbye to my pretty face. If you don't think it's pretty, that's fine, because I do and my husband does too. And that's all that counts. So, I will talk to you guys in a few minutes. All right, you guys, let's get this party started. We are going to do an example budget. I like to use real life examples. Of course, this is not my income. This is not my budget. This is not my anything. But it's pretty realistic, I guess. You know, for us, it's pretty realistic. So this is going to be a sheet that is included in my new budget book that is coming out soon. I just need to buckle down and finish it, guys. It's just been so much going on, so I just need to buckle down and finish it. But this will be a part of the book with some tweaks. I noticed I didn't have a place where my income was totaled. So right now, let's just do total income. Sorry if the table is shaking. My little tripod is being janky. And then I didn't put the place for total expenses. So we're going to do that. Okay. So in our first example, this is a married couple. And the first income they bring home, this is net income. You should use your net income and not your gross. So their net income is $45,500. And then the spouse's income is $32,400. Which equals $77,900. That was easy, right? So if you do your income separately, pay all your bills and do everything separately from your spouse, you would just include your income. All right, so you just add up all your income. Remember, we are not including side hustle income. So if they have another income, like if they have an apartment or something that they're renting out, or they have a rental home, they would include that annual. Remember, this is an annual budget outlook. Okay? So their income total is $77,900. So some people go directly to savings because they believe in paying themselves first. Typically, I go through I want to take I'm realistic, so I like to take out my bills first. Because, if my bills don't get paid, honey, I ain't got no roof over my head. So, I go for my bills first. All right. So in this example, their mortgage is $1,212 per month. Okay? So what they're going to do is take 12 times 12. That's a lot of 12s. And their total rent or mortgage is $14,544. Remember, this is annually, so don't panic because you see these big numbers. Okay, and then as I get marker all over my fingers, their electric is $145 per month. So they're going to go 145 times 12, $1,740 per month. Water is $120 per month. 120 times 12 equals $1,440. Gas. Maybe they have an electric everything in their home. They don't really need gas. It's going to be $65 per month times 12, $780. Phone and internet is $120 per month. We don't really need to use a calculator, but it's going to be $1,440. I suggest you look at your bills from last year and check your highest month and go from there. That way you'll, it'll be give or take for you. This is really shaking today. I'm sorry, guys. All right, their car payment. They have 2 car payments, okay, because there's 2 of them. One car payment is $520. One car payment is $460. I don't know why they're so high. Maybe they got Teslas. All right. So the first one, $520 times 12. That's $62.40. And then you could do this a lot neater if you want. I'm just winging it, $55.20. $64.20. Ooh, I said that so backwards. $62.40 plus $55.20. I'm sorry you can't read that. Equals $11,760. So $11,760 times I'm like, wait, that is not right. So it's $11,760. So $62.40 plus $55.20. Y'all know it ain't me unless it's janky. $11,760 per year. Woo, child, that was crazy. Okay. And their car insurance. This couple pays their car insurance biannually, which is much, much, much cheaper. So they pay theirs twice a year, $580 times 2, $1160. Okay. Cell phones. You know how those cell phones are. $230, $230 times 12, $27.60. Credit cards. They don't have that many credit cards, only 160. $19.20. Medical expenses. They're just budgeting it out. They don't know what it's going to cost. So let's just say they budget $500 a year, and we just carry over that $500. Okay? They don't have any other expenses. Maybe they don't need to pay property taxes. I don't know. Let's just play devil's advocate and pay property taxes. And make that $1,200 a year. Just to give them a little more. Okay? So let's go ahead and add all of this up. So their total expenses come to $38,974. Let's go up here and talk about our remaining income. $77,900 minus $38,974 equals $38,926 remaining. Is that good or bad? We don't know. We don't know. We'll see. However, it's my leg shaking the table. That's what it is, because I'm leaning my leg. Oh, that was really bad, huh? So let's review this. They had $45,500, $32,400 equals $77,900. All of their expenses came to $38,974. And they have $38,926 remaining for savings, play money, whatever. These are big numbers, remember, because this is annual and this is a 2-income household. Okay? These are not rich people by any means. These are not rich people. $77,000 is not a big household income. Okay? They're just, living Okay, maybe they might be living on a prayer. Maybe they don't have any kids. They're just living. Okay. All right. So remember that method I talked about? We're going to do it right on the other side. Oh, maybe not. We're going to grab another sheet, which might make it easier anyway, so we can look at both of our sheets at the same time. Let me go out a little bit. Let me go up. Okay. All right, so we are going to talk about our 50, 20, 30. 50% expenses, 20%. Sorry, it's a rubber band on the table. I'm like, what is that? 20% goes to savings. This is after 401k and everything, okay? And 30% fun. Once. You can do 40, 60, I don't know, whatever you decide. This is up to you, okay? The most important thing for you to learn in this entire process is you do what works for you. Do what works for you. Okay? All right. So, expenses is 50%. All right? So, what do we need to do? We need to do 77,900, right? Times 0.5. So our expenses come to 38,950. Okay? Now remember, this is what they're budgeting out based on their income. This is the reality. This is like what they have. This is what they want to do, okay? So these are two different methods. These are not the same methods, to be confused. So that's why these numbers down here are different, okay? So is our couple, based on this of what they want to do and based on what they're doing right now, they're a little over budget, but they're doing pretty well. They're doing pretty well for themselves. Okay? All right, our 20%, we take 77,900 times 0.20. That's going to be 15,580 for savings. So they're going to save $15,000 a year. And then they're going to pay any debts with that too. So let me slash debt this. Okay? Now with their fun, wants, you can bring this down. 30% is a pretty good amount. You can bring this down if you want, put more towards savings and debt. But for their sake, they're going to do 30%. Oops. 77,900 times 0.30. 23,370. Okay? Let's do some checks and balances. 38,950. 38,950 plus 15,580 plus 23,270 equals, I'm $100 off somewhere. 38. Let's see. Wait a minute. 77,900 times 0.5. 38,950. Not me unless it's Yankee, right? 15. Let's see. 77,900 times 0.20. 15,580. 77,900 times 0.3. 23,370. Yeah. 38,950 plus 15,580 plus 23,370. I don't know what I must have missed a number somewhere. 77,900. So it came out right. Okay. So far, if this couple was to choose this method right now for their expenses, they're only $24 in a hole. That's not bad. That's not terrible. So they're doing pretty well. And just to play devil's advocate, if they want to save $15,580 per year, we divide that by 12. They can save $1,298 per month. So that could go towards extra mortgage. That could go towards paying school loans. That could go towards doing anything that they want to do with it. And then fun, 23,370 divided by 12. $1,947 for fun. Okay? Or expense, you know, whatever their fun is, whatever. Or, you know, variable expenses, whatever they want to use it for. So, even though this couple only makes $77,000 a year, they have a good amount of money to play with if they don't have a ton of expenses. So, when you write your budget, when you go through, look at your annual budget, and you're like, dang, because you're going to look at this like, dang, I have this much money left over, and why don't I see it? It's because you're doing too much here. This is where you're doing too much. Okay? All right, let's just play devil's advocate and say this is a single parent home. And they want to do the 50, 20, 30 method. All right? And she only makes $65,500 a year. Okay? So, if she wants to do the 50, 20, 30 method, 50% of her income for expenses. Sorry about that glare, guys. $32.75. Y'all, I think I'm dyslexic sometimes. 32, that says $32.75. I'm sorry you can't read it, but that says $32.75. 65,500 times 0.5. 32,750. I knew that was off. Okay? And if she wants to use, so 32,750 would be her expenses. And then 65,500 times 0.20. 13,100 would be her savings debt. 30. 65,500 times 0.30. 19,650 would be her fund once. Okay? All right, so remember our checks and balances. 32,750 plus 13,100 plus 19,650, 65,500. Okay? So, I hear you thinking, well, this ain't gonna work for me. I'm a hairdresser and my income varies all the time. Well, sis, take your last year's income, work with last year's income. Okay? You just work with that. You can subtract 500. You can subtract, I would subtract 2%. If you do better, great. But I would subtract 2%. And then all you have to do is average that income. So if you're a hairdresser or whatever and you made, I don't know, $50,000 last year. So you take 2% off that. Ooh. So really, you want to do 0.98. If you do 0.98, it'll take that to give you a number. So, and that's 49,000. So that gave you your income for this year. $49,000. Same thing applies when you do this. Okay? And if you don't, and then if you don't think that monthly, you could just take your average per month. So what you would do, if you want to take your average income per month, you add all your months up from last year, take out that 2%, or how much ever percent, 5%. You can even take like the year before's income and divide it and see where your income. So let's say you made, now this is where the numbers nerd come in, so you'll have to excuse me. Let's say in 2022, you made $49,000. 2021, you made, I don't know, $20,000 because of COVID, I guess. I don't know. So 41% increase in income. Okay? So you can do anywhere in between that. You can just think like, is your income, do you think it's going to increase? You know, this is for people that have businesses, like, or for people that don't have consistent income. This method right here. Okay? So I hope you guys learned something today. I hope you took good notes. I want you to tune in next week. Tune in next week, and we are going to be doing our weekly budget not weekly. Child. We're going to be doing our monthly budget next Friday. I cannot talk. Next Friday, we'll be doing our monthly budget. We're going to go over that. We're going to go over that in detail. And to make it easier, we're still going to use our couple here. And we're going to have their monthly income ready. So you guys know how to reach out to me if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you for listening. I hope you learned something today. Make sure you leave your likes, comments. Comment your questions because somebody else probably has that same question, okay? Hope you guys have a great, great, great weekend. Bye.